If I forget you, Jerusalem, let my tongue cleave to my mouth.
To be appointed, because certain cases coming to you may not be a demonic possession. It can be psychological, something, a disorder, but as a good exorcist, you'll be able to perceive and see the same. By saying this, I want to tell you, as a priest who was working in the diocese, you share in the ministry of the bishop. Priest working in the diocese, you share in the ministry of the bishop. By sharing the ministry of the bishop, whose responsibility is, number one, is to preach, to teach, to govern or administer, and to sanctify. I'm going to repeat it. To preach, to teach, to govern or administer, and to sanctify. Now, let us go one by one through the office of preaching. The art of preaching is referred to homility. And you heard that. I mean, the priest delivers the homily, the bishop delivers the homily. That is the art of preaching. This is a difficult art. Not all of us have mastered that art so far. It's still a work in progress. I mean, there is a great, a spiritual, a mystical man called St. John Chrysostom. They refer to him as the golden tongue. When that man, it is said that, when a homily, there are two aspects of a homily. A homily can be prepared. You can see when a homily is prepared on the desk from an intellectual perspective, or when a homily is prepared on the knees. A homily prepared on the desk, and a homily prepared on the knees. And it is said too, a homily have to be like a mini skirt. You getting me? A mini skirt. Not too long, not too short, but long enough to cover the essential. Not too long, not too short, but long enough to cover the essential. That's what it is. Homiletics. In the seminary, they give you that over and over. They give you so that you tell you, listen, try your best, because it's to know the need of the community and to cater for them. That is how homiletics is. So in other words, the end purpose of the homily, they tell us, is to help the congregation to make the giant step. Transformation for conversion to take place. That is the end purpose of every homily. It's not to give people, to give people mepui. Mepui is like, you come and throw your talk on people and thing. It's not. It's for him to help you to make the movement. It's not to, to make the change that is necessary for conversion to take place. That is the ultimate purpose of a homily. Remember, it's to preach. That is the first office of the bishop. The preaching, homiletic, that is the art. It is a course in the seminary when you study it. Now, the next office is the teaching office of the bishop. My dear brothers and sisters, the teaching office of the bishop is to empower, is to use the gospel to empower you. It's about empowerment. That is why in Latin America there is a theological movement called liberation theology. Liberation theology is to help the people to liberate the mind. People like Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. It's to help you, to empower you to know what the gospel is all about. In other words, the tenet or the central aspect of liberation theology is make use of the gospel to empower people and to open the eyes and to see the need and the opportunities, to create opportunities in their life. So, teaching, to teach is to bring out the good in the person. All of us, we have it, is to bring out the good in the person. There was a lecture in the seminary in the Dominican Republic. He used to tell us, teaching, a teacher has a responsibility, I'm going to say it in Spanish and then try to translate it, para espantar la ignorancia. The end purpose of teaching is to frighten ignorance. To frighten ignorance in you is a fight against ignorance in the mind of the human person. That is why there's two French, pedagogists, and we develop pedagogy in terms of teaching. One of them is called Montaigne, the other is called Rabelais. They make the pedagogy of Rabelais, and the pedagogy of Montaigne. One of them promotes that, the pedagogy is a method of imparting knowledge. He said that, he prefers une tête bien faite, a well-wounded mind. You know very well there is a difference between being wise and being smart. Yeah, a wise man is the one who knows how to make a decision at the right moment. And that's why I say, if you said that there's an African proverb that goes like this: what a wise man can sit right here in Sacred Heart, he can see all the way by the entrance where the man builds the chain at the entrance. That is my landmark to come here. You say, what a wise man can see from here. From here can see all the way there by the roundabout. A smart man standing cannot see the same thing right there close to your eyes. There's a difference between being wise, being smart. That is why Rabelais, he promote what they call the pedagogy, une tête bien faite, well-rounded mind, and une tête bien pleine, a head that is full. As I told you last night, a little knowledge can be dangerous. That is why in philosophy there's what they call epistemology. Episteme is the study of knowledge. How do you know what you know? It's not only to know what you know, but it's what you do as a result of your knowing. Brothers and sisters, it is said that to love is to know the person. You cannot love a person without knowing the person. Sometimes in a relationship, at the beginning, you may not love the person, but when you get to know the person is, you discover the beauty inside the person. And at the end, no, you get to know and you love the person better. To know is to love. Now, that is the office, the teaching, office of the bishop. Is to bring out the goodness in the human person. No. To govern and to administer, or to administer. My dear brothers and sisters, to govern, yes, that is where the bacchanal starts. As a spiritual leader, sometimes you have to make decision, difficult decision, difficult. And then even your pastoral council sometimes can be against you because you make a decision that they are not too happy about. Where that priest come from, where that bishop come from. He doesn't have a mind of his own. People telling him, sometimes in the parish council you can hear so many voices speaking as if you don't know which one to listen to. Different opinion about one thing, different understanding about one thing. But everybody would like you to make a decision that that will please them. And as a priest, as a bishop, you're in the midst of all that. My brothers and sisters, and then bishops and priests get blows. Because sometimes you make a decision that is not popular. And people, let me tell you, get your back for blows. But in the midst of all that, you know what the reading is called? The readings of today will enter into that deeper. It calls, you still have to take your blows and then be what they call a good servant leader. Because it is all about servant leadership. Being a bishop, being in leadership position. Servant leadership. Remember, Christ is a perfect example of servant leadership when he said that, I have come not to serve, not to be served, but to serve and to give my life as a ransom for many. Let me even give a pastoral example. In my parish, we have 5 communities. But I always assign a day, for example, a whole week, a day for each community to visit. But there's one community that's very large. So sometimes we go and visit the sick. When we go and visit the sick, you have to start in one point and then the next. And I always tell people, put it in the announcement, by the time you reach 65, you don't have to fast before receive communion. You understand? Because you reach 65. Sometimes people have to take medication. They say, I'm not eating until the priest comes. I will tell them, eat, and when you come, you will still receive communion. You eating, yes, it's food for the body, but food for the journey cake is what I'm going to bring, the spiritual food. So eat. Some of them say they still not eating. So by the time I reach by them, if I start in point A, by the time I reach point B, they already, it's after 10 or 12, they have not eaten anything. They say, oh, where that priest was. So long I've been waiting for him. I mean, you only know he reaching here. I mean, you know, I don't know that there's young priests and them. You understand? There's all kind of thing. You bring communion for them, you know, but I take my bros and, you know, give them communion, sometimes it vex with you, you know. But I mean, you give the communion and then you go. Because that is what you signed for. That's what you signed for. So at the end of the day, my dear people, that's what it is. They give you blows. And you're trying to please everybody, but you cannot please everybody. No. Based on Hispanic literature, I learned something I'm going to share with you. There is a couple on a donkey on a journey. Let's say they start point A to point B. Now on that journey, at the beginning, the wife and the husband, they decide to walk behind the donkey and let the donkey walk in front. By itself. Nothing is on the donkey. Somebody said, my goodness, how you guys are so stupid. Look, the donkey is walking by itself, empty, nothing on the back of the donkey, and then you're telling me none of you decide to ride the donkey? The husband decided to start riding the donkey. No. Not less than a few minutes after they say that, somebody said, my goodness, sir, you mean to tell me, a big man like you letting your wife walking and then you riding the donkey? No, man, you are not a gentleman. Who raised you? Who was your mother? Who was your father? Which school you went to? They give him all kind of stress. He decided to go down and let the wife ride the donkey. Not too far from the same spot. Somebody say, hour, and also Ezekiel, oh, that woman, you must be wicked. You have no respect for your husband. If you have respect for your husband, you will not have been riding the donkey and let your husband walking behind. Now the two of them, they decided to start riding the donkey. Somebody not too far from the spot, they say, oh my goodness, you're a bunch of wicked people. A small animal like that, both of you sitting on riding the donkey. At the end of the day, brothers and sisters, you cannot please anybody. And if you have to listen to all the voices that you hear, it is said that, you know, if you have to listen to every dog that bark you on that journey, you'll never reach your destination. If you have to pay attention to every dog that bark at you on the journey, you'll never do. So you have to do sometimes what the French say, there's an expression called les chiens aboient, mais la caravane passe. So what it is, la caravane. Caravan is like you know what is a caravan. So les chiens aboient, dog. When the caravan passing through a village, dogs on both sides, they barking at the horse. I'm riding the caravan. You saw when at the funeral of Queen Elizabeth, I mean the carriage that was carrying the coffin, something like that, and the horses riding. That is a caravan. Keep passing through a village, dogs on both sides, barking. But if you have to stop, pay attention to this dog, to that Doberman, pay attention to that German Shepherd, you never reach your destination. That it is. It's so difficult to govern and to amaze. Now, in spite of all the blows you get in, you have to do what they call the sanctifying office of the bishop. The sanctifying office of the bishop and the priest. You have to still have to baptize people who bad talk you. You have to baptize the children. You have to go and visit them at the hospital. They will say, Father, know that I was sick, he never come. I know where he was, he was home, sitting, relaxing himself. They always know where you are. They have a GPS on you. I mean, they know where you are. I know. He must be at the Presbyterian, nothing. And he never come and visit me. Somebody, a lady was saying that priest boy, I don't know, that is not a priest. Lisa is not a priest. I mean, they have all kind of things to say. But you still have to sanctify, because that is your responsibility, the office of the bishop. So at the end of the day, my dear people, to preach, to teach, to govern, and to sanctify. Now what will happen? As a priest, you have to assume your responsibility. So that through the preaching of the gospel will be preached to the people. And then the people will be, through your teaching, will be empowered. And then conversion will take place. And then, my dear brothers and sisters, through the teaching method, there is a man called Socrates. Socrates said that, he develops a method, the Socratic method, what they call the magiotic. Magiotic which means midwifery. What it is to question, is a series of questions Socrates asks you, and then based on the response, it will bring out the knowledge in you. In other words, is the midwife who will help you to give birth to knowledge, so that you can know who you are as a believer. As Matthew can remind us, one of the signs of a dynamic Catholic, you know what it is? Is to know about your faith. If you don't know about your faith, if you know about Christ, as Saint Jerome reminds us, ignorance of Christ, ignorance of Scripture, of the Word of God, is ignorance of Christ Himself. So that is why it is. When you preach, through the preaching office, the gospel is preached, the teaching, the people are empowered, they are taught properly, and then conversion can take place. And then for the governing office of the bishop, the people are led properly to the journey on the journey to salvation. And then for the sanctifying office of the bishop, sins are forgiven. And this is why together we build a Christian civilization. So, my dear brothers and sisters, what all that have to do with the readings of today? So how that changed the price of coconut in the marketplace? How it make it relevant to what is going on? Just make it relevant with me together, make that journey together. No, the readings of today are chosen thematically according to the theme. What is going on? The first reading is like Prophet Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you know what happened? He's one of the prophets that suffered more. All the prophets get the blows. The prophet, by the time that you assume the prophetic ministry, and then you become what they call a teacher of the mystery. You become what they call a mystagogue. Mystagogue, mystery. You become, all of us here, by virtue of our baptism, we are all mystagogue, teachers of the mystery. Whether you like it or not, by virtue of your baptism, you receive the threefold ministry, the king, prophet, and priest. We share in the common priesthood. Therefore, that is why when a priest comes in the parish and you realize it doesn't have it all, that's why I say the spirituality of complementarity. The gift that you have and it doesn't have, God give it to you so that you can complement what he doesn't have. When you come there, you are the reader, you read, you proclaim the reading. The priest cannot do the gospel, preach, and do the first reading, do the psalm. The psalm means those who sing psalm. It is a gift that God gives you. The person who would take up the church, open the church. The priest cannot be here 24/7 to open the church and to clean the church. The gift God give you, God give it to you, God make us different. You know what He make us different? For the purpose of complementarity. Yes. When you see you have something, you say, don't say that priest is stupid man, he doesn't know how to deal with finance. Yes, God give you the gift of knowing how to deal with finance so that you can complement what he doesn't have. That is why, too, when you hide your talent, you say you're not putting it, they have to pay me, or they have to come and ask me personally. If they don't come and ask me, I'm not going to do it. And in addition to the fact that there is an anthropological principle that goes like this. Whatever you have, you do not develop it, you don't put it to work, it will be atrophied, it will not be developed. Yeah. And we develop ourselves in relationship with others. That is why Jesus himself, he came and he fulfilled the desires of the Father, the command of the Father, totally, faithfully, and fruitfully. Totally, faithfully, fruitfully. There is no halfway. Jesus didn't say, When he realized that was the passion he was going to suffer, he didn't step back, He go into it totally, faithfully, and fruitfully. My brothers and sisters, this is why I started with the principle of complementarity. God give you a gift so that you can complement the gift of the priest. We don't have it all. I don't have it all. I don't have everything. I don't know everything. Yes. Whatever gift God give you, put it at work. Put it at work so that together we can achieve what they call integral human development. The development of the human person in every aspect, the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the psychological. When you remove certain burden on the back of the priest, he had more time to prepare a homily on his knees than prepare a homily on the desk. And you remove certain thing on his back, and you internal, you are like, Father, how can I help you? You know, so be careful when you hear that. Because a lady told me, when you go to a parish, the first set of people who come and offer you the help, be careful of them. You be careful of them. Be careful. Because sometimes is like a hot stone that they come and place in your hand. You know, at the end of the day, you don't know how to hold it. You don't know where to hold it. You know, I lived to see that, my brothers and sisters. I lived to see that. I experienced it. And then, there was a group of people telling me, Father, I can help you, Towards the end, a lady came and she told me, I can help you. I can help you. And this is the help that I take. Up to now, the first person who offered me the help that I tell you, that person want to make my life a living hell. Because I say, in other words, you're not doing, I offer you my help, you're not taking it, and I'm going to make life difficult for you. It's something like that. And what I have to do, I have to take my clothes. That's what I signed for the show. I have to take my clothes. That's what it is. My brothers and sisters, the readings of today is chosen based on the theme. The theme is that there's a campaign in the first reading in Jeremiah. Jeremiah get blows because he's a minister of the word, and then he wants to minister to the people. That is why, and what they call the prophetic narrative. The prophetic narrative is all the patterns of all the prophet that you observe on the prophet. One thing is that all the prophet, when God called them to the prophetic ministry, the first reaction, no, not me, I cannot do that. Jeremiah said that, I am a little boy, I don't know what to say. Isaiah said, my goodness, I am living among a set of people with unclean lips, and I myself, my clean lip. You know what God said? I said, okay, he sent an angel with a hot stone and wipe his mouth. And he cleaned it up. Like, it's as if you buy bleach and send Isaiah to clean his mouth with bleach. Not what they call it, glycerin, but bleach itself to wash his mouth because he was living among people with unclean lips. And then, Hosea himself, he was married to a prostitute. Can you imagine that? Hosea was married to a prostitute. You married to a prostitute, you know what's coming for you. And then God used that same experience to tell Hosea, the same way a prostitute can be unfaithful to the husband is the same way the people of Israel are unfaithful to me. Use that experience to minister to them. That is why, good or bad, use it as an experience to minister to yourself and to God. Because our Lord said, God brings a message out of a mess all the time. Amos, social justice. Amos, you know what happened? Amos himself was a sycamore Johnson. He was a farmer. He didn't know anything about prophetic ministry, and nobody in his family had been a prophet before. And when he went to minister, he's from the southern kingdom, he went to the northern kingdom to minister. The priest was in the temple telling God, "Man, remove yourself from that place. Who are you? Where you come from? You are not from the line of prophet." Amos said, "I know, I am not come from no line of prophet, but I was called by God, by Yahweh, to minister." The priest Amaziah tell him, "Move from there. Move from there, little boy, where you come and disturb people and different." So every single one of them, in the prophetic narrative, they call the bargaining with God. And God will assure them. And then, that is the time that they affirm, they take up the responsibility. And they minister. Jeremiah gets so much blows. That is why in French there is an expression called, when somebody likes to complain, un véritable jérémiade. Jérémiade is Complaints. Jeremiah is one of those who complain a lot, but he had a lot on his plate to deal with. That is what the first reading is all about. That's what it is. He said that, these were my orders. Listen to my voice. Then I will be your God, and you shall be my people. Follow right to the end the way that I marked out for you, and you will prosper. But they did not listen. They did not pay attention. They followed the dictates of their own evil heart, refused to face me, and turned their backs on me from the day your ancestors came out of the land of Egypt until now. Day after day, I have persistently sent you all my servants, the prophet. One after the other, they killed the prophet. I mean, you yourself use a next in line to be the prophet. You think you will go and take up that responsibility? You see the killer man right in front of you, and you say, okay, I want to be a prophet. That's why when God called them, they say, me, I'm not in that. So, but they have not listened to me, have not paid attention. They have grown stubborn and behave worse than the ancestors. Behave worse than the ancestors. Let me give you a story before we continue. When I was in the seminary, there was a brother from Kenya. So he was telling me, I mean, he used to make fun of me. He used to call me voodoo man. He used to call me voodoo man. Well, one day he decided to say, oh, you think, I mean, you are a voodoo man, you think I mean, we were always making fun of each other and peacock and so on. And then he told me, I'm from the continent, I'm from Kenya, which means we have something stronger than you. You in the Caribbean, you in Haiti, I mean, even if you have it, but I mean, I have something stronger than you because I come from the motherland. So I told him one thing. When a virus is mutated, it becomes worse than the original. You remember when during COVID, Omicron was worse than the first time sick. I tell you, no, the mere fact that the Haitians leave Africa, they come to the Caribbean, and the voodoo man mutated. There's a mutation as it is become more resilient to antibiotics. So, I mean, it's something like that. So, they were worse than their ancestors. Worse. I mean, it's worse as anything, I mean, in this. That's why, they're worse than the ancestors. You may say all this word to them, they will not listen to you. You may call them, they will not answer. So, tell them this. There is the nation that will not listen to the voice of the Lord is God, not take correction. Sincerity is no more. It has vanished from their mouth. You didn't hear that? Sincerity is no more. It has vanished from the mouth. Brothers and sisters, this is what happened. That is Jeremiah. That is what you have to face. In other words, Jeremiah in the first reading is a typology of Christ. If what Christ was going to be in the gospel reading. In the gospel reading, you know what happened? Christ worked everything that he could. He worked miracle. He did exorcism. And he set people free from those who were possessed by demons. As he said in the Gospel of Luke, the purpose of his coming. You remember the manifesto in Luke? You know what the manifesto when election coming up, every party have to present the plan and so on. In the Gospel of Luke, he said that God's Spirit is that he went to the synagogue to preach and he passed in the scroll of the prophet. And you're reading that. God's Spirit is?
Spirit of the Lord
has been given
to me.
He anointed me to preach the good news to the poor, and then to set the young children free, and to declare a year of mercy. That is why I tell you, I mean, it's the same that is the manifesto. That is why Jesus worked miracles. He did everything. But that generation is still asking him for signs. What else you want? Like a lady, when I in my last year in the seminary, I was assigned to a parish called Togo in Trinidad. And then there was a lady, we go to Matlot, all the way, far. And then the lady before Mass, she plays guitar. There's a song she used to sing. Up to now I remember that lady, and I remember me singing that one whenever we used to go and do Mass or communion service. Sometimes the priest cannot go, and we, as two of us, seminarians, we were deacon at the time. And he used to sing, what more can Jesus do? And see, what more can Jesus do? That's what happened in the gospel reading. Jesus worked miracles. He healed the sick. He anointed them. He preached There was no better teacher. That is why they say Judas had the best spiritual leader. He had the best preacher. He had the best sanctifier. He had the best governor. But he still do the stupidness that he had to do. Sometimes it's not about the leader, you know. Yes, the leader, sometimes, you know, you have to ask yourself, am I ready to make that journey that I'm inviting others to make? But sometimes it is not the leader. Judas had all the best teacher, the best preacher, the man who had the logos appeal, the man who epitomizes what the human person is supposed to be, but he still do the stupidity that he did. Sometimes it's not the leader, it's not the teacher, but it's you have to ask yourself a question. Where am I? That question I refer to it as what they call an existential question. An existential question is this: who am I? Where am I on the journey towards God? What is my purpose on earth? These are existential questions. If you don't stand one day and ask yourself that question, know that something is wrong with you. Jesus provided everything. He worked miracles, he do this and that. They say, I don't trust you. It's Obia, you doing nothing. Beelzebub is the prince of the devil. They say that's what he's using to hit the people. But they will never say it's something good that you're doing, you know. But they'll say that. So just to tell you, Jesus, he said that, you know, knowing their thinking, Jesus was not only a spiritual leader, he was not only what we call a social activist, but he was not only a prophet, a great king, but he was also somebody who was emotionally intelligent. Emotionally intelligent as a leader is to know how your performance, how your attitude can affect the way that you perform in society, the way that you perform in your ministry. He was a leader who was emotionally intelligent. That is why he led the people so well. He did that to the best of his ability. So my dear brothers and sisters, in other words, Jesus was trying to invite his people to a new social contract, to a new deal, a paradigm shift. But they stuck in the way. They don't want to change. They stay right there. All that he tried, he worked miracles. He did all kind of what he could. But they didn't want to hear. They didn't want to listen. And that is why in the first way they said, listen. Listen. Let me tell you, not all of us. Listening is, I would say, it is an ability. It is a gift. That's what they call meta-listening. That is why Jesus did that so well in the gospel. Meta-listening is to listening to what people are not saying. That is why he said, knowing their thinking. Sometimes people are talking to you, but they are not telling you. They do what they call the pseudo-confidentiality. They say a certain thing, but I mean, deep within what they're going through, you have to listen to the emotion. You have to listen. He did that so well. Knowing the thinking, he was emotionally aware of the suffering. Brothers and sisters, that is why he dealt with them so greatly. And then he told them, you know, all this thing he did, nothing amazes them. I want to ask you that question. What calls your attention? Are you anything at all call your attention? There's a lecture in the seminary. You know what he used to tell us? He used to tell us, as people in training to become priests, you must have a sense of awe. A sense of awe, you know what it is? Awe or shock. These are people, you can take them to the New York Metropolitan Museum. They look inside, nothing caught their attention. You can bring them in front of Mona Lisa. Nothing changing, nothing caught their attention. You can show them, you can do the marvelous thing in the eyes. Nothing caught their attention. As if they walk in, as they say in Spanish, por encima del bien y del mal. As if they walk in above good and evil. I want to tell you, you have to have a sense of awe as a Christian. Always have something to look forward to as a Christian. Hope It is said that the last thing that when somebody is dying, the sense of hope. When you lose hope, you finish. That's the end of you. Jesus, there's all this thing to call the attention. You are something amazing. So, things that could call the attention, but they're still asking for sign. What else you need? What else can Jesus do? Brothers and sisters, He calls us. And then, being the mere fact that you wake up this morning and come inside here, there is always something to be thankful for. There's always something to be grateful for. The mere fact you wake up, wake up this morning, you say that, my alarm woke me up. Woke me up. Aren't you? Your alarm woke you up. You think so? Okay. There are so many people, they didn't wake up. The alarm went off, but they didn't wake up at all. Wake up, my people. Give a shock. Wake up. No. Awake from your slumber. I love something. You have to have a sense of awe as a Christian. Something to look forward to. Sense of hope. You cannot be there. Like Pope Francis, you cannot have what they call you cannot have also a gloomy face, as if you come from a funeral. No. You have to have a sense of awe. Something, you have to be amazed by something. As the song says, Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. If you try there, I don't want to continue because I'm not a good singer to cause the rain to fall tonight. Brothers and sisters, you know what happened? God called us. Jesus, when He called Peter and He called the others, He told them, I'm going to make you fishers of men and women. Fishers of men. But you know what He means by that? God didn't call us to be an aquarium keeper, but call us to be in the open sea. When He called us to that ministry, to the church, baptize, confirm, and the journey of salvation continue, He didn't call us to be an aquarium keeper. Anybody has an aquarium at home there? You have an aquarium at home? Okay. You never observe a fish in an aquarium. There is nothing else you can expect of a fish. You cannot have a shark in an aquarium. You know that? Yeah? You know how lionfish end up being in our Caribbean Sea? You know how it end up? Anybody knows the story of lionfish? You know lionfish have no predator, right? Lionfish devour all the other fish in the sea. Lionfish have no predator. During the Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans and so on, people at the home who had aquarium with lionfish in them, all this thing, everything mash up, the lionfish have no predator, they end up being in the sea and then come down and in the Caribbean even eating off flying fish. So brothers and sisters, we are not called. In an aquarium, the fish is moving up and down, up and down, up and down. I don't know, whenever you get a chance to go to a place you see there's an aquarium, observe the fish in it. They're moving around with no sense of purpose, with no hope at all. No hope in the sense that they themselves they have no hope, and you have no hope one day to find that fish. Because it's just you are the aquarium keeper. You understand? And no hope is for beauty. You keep them there. God did not invite you to the church for you to sit and observe and be a spectator. He called you to be not an aquarium keeper, but to be in the open sea. When you go in the sea, that is why in the net of the church, in the sea, you have all kind of fish. There is a fish called titiwi. It's a small fish. That is the size. You cannot expect that fish to grow. Pisket rivier. You can expect that thing is small as it is, it will remain like that until thy kingdom come. A lionfish have no predator. It is said that In the net of the church, we have all kind of fish. We have flying fish, we have mai, we have dolphin in the church, and we have lionfish in the church. The lionfish, you know what is the attitude? They have no predator. They don't want nobody else to come in the church and have access to the mercy of God. They have the monopoly of the grace of God. Lionfish, mind yourself, mind your business. You don't become a lionfish in the church to devour all other fish in the place. You are called to be in the open sea, to baffle by the waves and so on, and then for you to question yourself, and then for you to know that you are not an aquarium keeper, but you're here to be in the open sea. That's where the challenge is, to leave our comfort zone and to go and face the reality outside. Leave our comfort zone. Don't be an aquarium keeper. We are called to be in the open sea, where the challenge is, where the bacchanal is taking place. So that we cannot change something from standing outside. We have to be in it to change it. We have to change it from inside. We are not an aquarium keeper. Remember that well. And please, don't be a lionfish. I'm going to ask you that question. When was the last time somebody said, because of you, I come to church? Because of you. And mind you, don't let people say, because of you. I don't come to church. I don't come to church. But sometimes, you don't tell people anything, but they have to say that about you. Because of that lady, I cannot stand that woman. You have this stink attitude like the Chinese. Yes. You have this stink attitude on you. So, my neighbors and sisters, I want to ask you a question. Yeah, but after all, So you have to ask yourself, when was the last time you heard somebody say, because of you, I come to church? Because of who you are. That is why Mahatma Gandhi, he said something that is very powerful. Because of his experience with the colonizers who colonized India, and they brought Christianity through painful experience. And then he told, we know what he told them? I love the Christ you profess, but I don't love your Christianity. Yeah? So many of us will profess a Christ, but the way we live in Christianity is the way of life. And you know that? So you have to be able to complement, to reconcile the Christ that you profess and your Christianity, or you live your life. If you cannot balance that, you cannot merge that account, these two accounts, the Christ you profess and the Christianity. And for those who are in accounting and so on, you know how to do the same. If you, the Christ you profess, if you cannot make sure that it is compatible to the way you live in your life, smoke your pipe. Don't eat your dinner and then go out of it. You just, as a single, one pardon, you're just not in it. You're just not in it. Brothers and sisters, we have a lot to do. Welcome to the Holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. And welcome to the human race. Amen.
Amen. If I forget you, Jerusalem, let my tongue cleave to my mouth.